is the beginning of the week of training being anchored by Team Bem Bem and Team Funmi. So we're going to be training and presenting for the next 7 days, and I welcome you all to today. This is the first training session, and I really hope that we will learn a lot, be reminded of a lot, and just have a good time generally. So today, I'll be anchoring a discussion. It is not a really structured training. Let me just share my screen. Just a minute. Okay. Let me try and share my screen. Okay. Yeah, I believe we can see my screen. Can we see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So today I'll be anchoring a discussion on the business of the 21st century. And if we look at what I've put there, I've put a book there. The discussion is being inspired by this book. Robert Kiyosaki is a credible author that has written a lot of books on finance and network marketing. And I believe many of us would have read some of them, and I know that we would have gained a lot. I know that the first of these books that I read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I read it quite a while ago, but at the time I was not involved in any associations or structure that would take my journey further. I knew those principles, I learned about them, but that was it really. I just had it somewhere in my mind that, okay, this is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and these are the lessons, one learned. And so today we'll be discussing some important concepts. Now, I'd like to ask us a question. How many of us in the last 1 month have read a book? Now, I'm trying to find the chat. Yeah. How many of us have read a book in the last 1 month? Or you are reading a book now? Can't even find. I can't find the chat. Just a minute. Stop. Okay. Yeah, I have. Yes, John, Rita, Lola reading one. I prefer audiobooks. Yeah, audio, whether it's audio or reading. Please, can my co-host kindly help me admit there are about 4 people in the room? Yeah, I decided, a short while, I've been reading, but I think in the last couple of months, I haven't really read a full book. I had a book I started reading, I would read something every night, but I really decided very recently that, look, I need to be on top of my personal development game, because I feel that being involved in network marketing, for instance, and not developing myself, not keeping up, is like a Christian who is going to church, involved in church activities, choir, evangelism, this one, that one, goes to church every day, but is not keeping in touch with their relationship with God, is not having a time with God every day. That person will start being shallow in their relationship with God. And such with our business. We have to keep developing ourselves. And so recently I started rereading this book, and we're going to be discussing some important concepts, that the book talks about in our industry. It's a book that if you have not read, we've not read this book before, I would encourage you to buy and read it. Yeah, buy and read it. There are actually many, there are e-versions you know, that if we can download them and read. Like I said, I've read this book a couple of times, and I remember a few years ago, a few years ago, when myself and some of my team members, I think CM gave us a challenge, a reading challenge, and we had a reading group, and myself, some of my team members, but a lot of prospects, non-members joined us, you know, and it was an amazing experience. There were a group of people there who went from, me, I don't like network, all these networking things, you know, even as we were having some conversations before we started reading the book. I don't like networking, all these networking things. No, it's this, it's that. And then we started reading this. It was this book we read. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, before our very eyes, people who are like, I don't like network marketing, this networking thing is this. You could see their paradigm change, their mindset changed in a matter. I can't remember whether we read the book for a week or 2 weeks or something like that, but within that period, and you won't believe that 4 of those people signed up that month. And these were people who had specifically said, I don't like network marketing. So this book is a book that I would really, really, really encourage us to read. I know that in my team, we were going to read this book, I think it was July, but because of the massive action, we put it off. And I think that we're going to look into doing it either later this month or next month. You know, so we can do this, and we can help people. We can involve our, you know, our prospects and all that. You know, in his book, Robert Kiyosaki said that one of the things he said, the book contains, there's a lot, you know, we're just going to discuss some of them today, maybe some the next time I present, and then, you know, we can read up the rest. You know, in his book, he said that he has devoted many years of his life to help people transform their lives by learning to build genuine wealth. You know, according to him, he came across, he researched different business models, and he came across a business model that holds the greatest promise for the largest number of people to take hold of their financial lives, their futures, and their destiny. And that business model is what he terms the business of the 21st century. You know, and I believe, one thing I believe, and I think that's one of the reasons that made me choose to present this today. Many of us as network marketers, I believe that many of us don't know what we have in our hands. We don't know. Please, are you following me? Are we following? If we're following, can someone just unmute and say we're following, because I can't even see the.
We're following.
Following, ma.
Okay, thank you.
I'm following.
Thank you very much.
I'm
You know,
following.
thank you. Many of us, we don't know how. Yeah, we can mute back. Thank you.
Feedback.
Please, can someone?
My God.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You know, I see network marketing as a jewel of inestimable value that many people who are even involved in the business, we don't know what we have in our hands. And I feel that, you know, well, a lot of us have certain goals or challenges, but we do not realize, and we're looking for different ways to solve them. And I believe that many people do not realize that what they are looking for, and I'm going to say a Yoruba proverb, what they're looking for in Sokoto, they don't know that that thing is in the pocket of their Sokoto. You know, that's what I believe. I believe that many of the things we dream about, our challenges, many of them can be sorted long term or your goals can be met by leveraging on this jewel of inestimable value that you have in your hands. And so today, like I said, we're going to talk about how this business, today and the next time I'm going to talk about how this business is the business of the 21st century. And I believe that many of us, if we pay attention, we will be better off for it. And I just want to say here that when I talk about paying attention, I'm not talking about the fact that you should bag everything else you're doing and focus on network marketing. But I feel that if we understand, we will devote that time. You know, I remember a few days ago, I was talking to a new downline I have. He's in an African country, and we had it was like a training on the phone, and he just came up with it that he realizes that he manages an oil servicing company, so he's very busy. But he realized after we had this conversation that I just need to give some time to this business, even if it's 1 hour a day. There's someone very busy and all that, and that's what I think, you know, would help everybody to decide. Let me give, but you see, that decision, because I know what it's like to be really, really busy, crazy schedule, but you would only be able to make those decisions and sacrifices if you really, really realize what is in your hands. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, one of the points that Robert Kiyosaki taught about in his book is that it's not about income. It is about assets that generate income. You know, this concept is a foundation of wealth creation. And many of us, we need to have a mindset change, a paradigm shift, if we're really going to understand wealth creation. For instance, wealth, you know, when we talk about wealth, wealth is not measured by the amount of money you have in your bank account or the amount of money you make daily or monthly or weekly. Wealth is measured in time, more in time. How much longer? So today, if you stop doing what you are doing to bring in money, how long will you live? Can you live and have your basic needs met after the active work you are doing stops? I'd like us to ask ourselves today, if I stop working and maybe I'm doing some business, small business or whatever, how long, if I stop today, how long will I be able to live on the income that comes in after that work has stopped? And each of us should ask ourselves and answer it ourselves. Is it 1 year? Is it 6 months? Is it 3 months? Is it 1 month? Is it that if your income doesn't come in at the end of this month, that's the end? Well, that shows how wealthy you are, you know? And so that's something we need to think about. I know that in my invitation, you know, I sort of did a sharing that I could have done here. That, I mean, I qualified as a doctor at a very early age and started working, but I've always had this flair for business, you know, I would create this, I would make that, I would sell this, I would sell that, I would travel to England, buy this and sell that. But unfortunately, I did not have that financial education. Let me put it that way. Of course, I've practiced as a doctor. I had many postgraduate qualifications, thousands of pounds and dollars spent on me, you know, but not in any of them, not in any of those trainings was I taught about how I could turn those activities, I was doing a lot of them, how I could turn them into an asset that can generate passive income. You know, Many of us are used to active work, 9 to 5, and at the end of the month getting a salary, you know. And for many some people during the lockdown, some people, of course, it was a blessing that you could work from home. But for some people during the lockdown, it was like, you feel uncomfortable, you know. That's active income generation, and it is good. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with active income. In fact, it's necessary, you know. But the thing is that many of us take that active income generation mindset into our network marketing business, and we make it more about what we can sell to make retail profit, whereas it should be more about building a system. You know, some of us sell a lot, and it's good though. I mean, even me, I'd love to actually sell more than I do. But many people sell and don't pay enough attention to the possibility of passive income coming from the business. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Active income is good. It's necessary, you know, while we're even building that asset or building passive income. It's very good, you know, but we need to make sure that as we are making that active income, whether it's from our network marketing business or it's our regular business or our regular job, we need to make sure we are building a piping system, which is the asset structure that will guarantee us passive income down the line. And I would like us to type passive income. If you're following me, please type passive income. Passive income. I'd like to see that. Passive income, yes. I need us to have that in the forefront of our psyche, passive income. You know, to be perfectly honest with you, I mean, I am retired from government and full-time employment. And it's not that I don't want to do any, I mean, I do some, or I did some other things before the lockdown, before the pandemic. But honestly, my mind is now geared to, if I see a venture or a business or anything, and I'm not talking about network, anything, what I think first is, how would this lead to passive income? If it would not lead to passive income, I'm not sure I could do it, but I'm not sure I would give as much time as I'm giving to my network business on such a venture. I guess that's because by the grace of God, I've been able to have that mind change, you know, that it's not about income, it's about assets that generate income. And really, I'm going to talk a bit more about this later, but really we need to understand that our network marketing business is actually an asset if we build it. So the next point I want to talk about is the fact that, you know, that Robert Kiyosaki said, you need to know your assets from a hole in the ground. You need to know what an asset is from a hole in the ground. According to Robert Kiyosaki, an asset is something that works for you so that you don't have to work for the rest of your life. An asset is something that works for you, something that generates income for you so that you don't have to work. And for those who understand, who are in that sphere or space, the number one asset you can have is a business. And number two asset is real estate. But even with real estate, you know, one has to understand the difference between cash flow and capital gain. So for instance, if I buy or build a house and I'm talking about, oh, my house increased in value from 20 million naira to 30 million naira, that is not an asset. That is capital gains, you know, because the purpose of investing in real estate is to keep it as an asset that will generate passive income as rent. Also, buying a piece of land for 1 million naira and selling it 2 years later for 2.5 million naira is like having, is capital gain. It's like having a cow that produces milk and you sell the milk, then you now sell the cow, you know, you sell the cow. Meanwhile, you could have kept the cow and kept the milk, and it kept producing milk for you as passive income. So the house you bought or built to live in is not an asset, you know, unless it's generating money for you somehow. I mean, I know that when I really learned this, that the house I'm living in is not an asset. So I don't even want to call it a lie. Sorry, I can't call it a liability, but it's a non-performing asset. I mean, I know that I've generated something from it in the past and I'm going forward. But you know, when I learned that, it was like a culture shock to me that, you know, we were brought up to believe that, your house is an asset. You know, you build your house and you are happy. Yeah, it's good. But unless it is bringing money for you, it is not an asset. Please, can we mute? There's somebody who is, thank you, you know. And your car is not an asset unless it's yielding money for you. So you buy that spiffy car, it's not an asset, it's a liability because it takes money from you. Don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not saying it's wrong, you know, but you know, when banks give loans for cars, household appliances, equipment, they call it asset acquisition loan. It's a misnomer because those things we are taking loans to buy are not assets, they are liabilities. Another thing that is not an asset is a job. A job is not an asset because you cannot rent it out. You cannot rent it out. You cannot even sell it on eBay or in Jumia to even get capital gains for it. Although when you are working at a job, you are building an asset, but it's just someone else's asset you are building. Now I'm going to briefly, we can see the cash flow quadrant on the I believe we can see it on the slide. Can we see my slide? I think we can. So the cash flow quadrant, I mean, anybody who has been involved in our trainings for the past couple of months, I believe you would have heard about the cash flow quadrant till your ears are tingling. But you know what? I believe that we can never hear it too much. We can never over understand it, because the more we understand it, the more we'll be able to teach it to people. So we look at the 4 quadrants here, the E, the S, the B, and the I. So the first quadrant is the employees quadrant. Employee, you go to work and in 30 days or however long you get a salary. Then the self-employed, maybe you leave your work, your job, and you say, I want to do this by myself. You join the S quadrant, which is self-employed, or another name for it is small business. The thing is that the only difference between the E quadrant and the S quadrant is that you own the job. You are still an employee. Yeah, you're an employee of yourself. Because if you don't physically engage in that, your business, nothing will happen. Then the B quadrant is the business owner's quadrant. And I know that in the past, I would think, oh, somebody who has a shop or somebody has some small business is a business owner. It took financial literacy classes like this for me to learn that no, a business is somebody in the B quadrant is somebody who you own a business. There is a system put in place for that business such that Whether you are there or not, it runs. And then the other criteria is that you have at least about 500 employees, 500 people working for you, at least 200 to 500 people working for you, because before it can be classified as being in the B quadrant. And here there's leverage, and you have people working for you to generate money. Then you have the I quadrant, the investors quadrant, whereby an investor has a lot of resources that they can put into vehicles that can generate more money. So an investor invests money to make more money. And I know that sometimes people talk about, oh, I want to invest. I have $500,000, I want to invest. And, I've come to learn that saying I'm an investor with $500,000 is like saying that a 4-year-old child is my house help. Child abuse, money abuse. So those are the 4 quadrants. So the thing is that when you build a business, so the big quadrant now, 95% of human beings in the world are on the left side, that is E or S quadrant, while 5% reside on the right side. And all of us here and everywhere, we earn from one of these quadrants, or we earn majorly from one of these quadrants. So on the right side, there is leverage. And when you are building a business, you are building an asset. So a business you build is an asset, because when you build it, it generates money for you, whether you are there or not, because there's a system that has been created around it. Now, if you are in network marketing and you are building your network, you are building an asset. So this is what, the previous slide showed us that, look, it's not about income, making money, making income for now. It's about building an asset that will generate income. And as a network marketing professional, you are actually building a B quadrant business. We talked about the characteristics of a B quadrant business. You have you have a system. So in network marketing, in Green Monday, you have a system. A system has been created. In network marketing, in a business, in a B quadrant business, you have employees. They say you have at least 200 to 500 employees. In network marketing, you don't have employees, but you sponsor people who are independent representatives of the company's products and services. And also, like I said, there's already a system laid out that your independent distributors are plugged into. And these independent distributors, they are working together with you. You are working for them, they are working for you in a win-win situation, and money is generated. And the same financial dynamic applies as with a Dangote Industries or a Richard Branson Holdings, because by the time you build your network marketing business made up of independent representatives, and the numbers grow to 300, 400, 500, you have a serious organization that will deliver significant residual income over time. I know that when we started this, we started from scratch, so to speak. And I know that over time, there are people who have been building their networks. Some people right now maybe have 20, some have 50, some have 100, some have 200, but it's growing. And ladies and gentlemen, if we do not stop growing our business, we are building a serious B quadrant business that will generate residual income. And for me, one of the things it will generate that I find very attractive is the time freedom, time flexibility, whereby you can get to a point, you can be somewhere out of the country and your business is going on. You open your, I know that CM sometimes says this, and I always remember, you know, you open your back office and you say, 10,000 points. I just had a 100,000 PView yesterday. Now there's a 110,000. What's happening? What's happening? John Onomia, what's happening? Oh, okay, my downline in Argentina, they're having their third year anniversary. Okay, they're registering a lot of people. Things like that are going to happen if we continue building our assets. So, like I said, rather than earning income, you build an asset that in turn generates income. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions about network marketing is that it is a selling business. You know, I've had people say, ataja, alita, amata, we sell it there. It's not, you know, I tell people it's about selling, but it's not about selling. Selling is just more income. I'm not saying that selling is bad. It's just that if the activity of selling stops, the income stops. So for instance, you know, we're looking at this quadrant. A salesperson is in the E quadrant. If someone has a job behind the counter in a departmental store, the person is in the E quadrant. If someone has their own business, selling cars, selling insurance, selling houses, selling jewelry, selling chairs, they are in the S quadrant and they have a job and the job is to sell. But this cannot build residual income or financial freedom. The reason is that, why? No matter how good I am at selling, there are limitations. First of all, there are only 24 hours in a day. So I cannot sell overnight. So there are limitations. So the whole point of being a network marketer is not to sell a lot of product, but to build a network of a lot of people who are their own best customers and who use the product. Now, in practical terms, I tell you what can even happen if I keep selling and I don't make an effort to build those people into, to make those people into independent distributors. So I will sell. I will go to Rita's office and I keep selling them to read. I'm selling reader. Maybe 10 people want, 5 people want. I keep selling to Rita's people and I don't tell them that, hey, you guys, why not just sign up and build a network? Then one day, me, I don't know, I'm still waiting. Friday is the day I go to sell there. And then I go on Friday and Ebele has gone there. And she, reader, yes, now, Dr. I know sells reader to us. She sells reader to us. And then Ebele says, yes, now she can sell. But why don't you just sign up? Hey, this woman that's been selling to us, she didn't tell us about that. And then all Rita's workmates sign up. And then I get there on the following Monday, Friday, I see them with their reader, they have signed up. I have lost all those customers. I've lost everybody in their circle of influence. And as a business partner, I lose all the possible, maybe 1,000 contacts they all had, they all would have had. So that is why, one of the reasons why, it's even important that we focus more on building our network. Now, like I said, this class is going to be, I'm not going to finish today. But another thing, I want to talk about is the fact that network marketing the business of the 21st century is one business, but it represents 8 wealth building assets. 8 wealth building assets. And that is the reason, that represents 8 reasons why network marketing can secure your future. No matter what, I always tell people, I mean, I heard this from MI said it once, and for me, it resonated with me that whatever else you are doing, yes, you have a job. We need to have a job. Many of us, you have a business you are running. You are doing this, you are doing that. But whatever else you're doing, building a network marketing business be one of the things you are giving serious attention. So I'm just going to talk about just 1 or 2 of the wealth building assets that network marketing is. One business, 8 wealth building assets. So the first asset is a real world business education. When you are in a network marketing business, you have a real world business education. There are 3 types of education that are necessary for success. And Robert Kiyosaki also talked about this. The first one is scholastic education. You learn to read, you learn to write, and you learn to do mathematics. You can add, subtract, and all that. Then the next one is professional education. You train as this or that. This professional education, it teaches you how to work for money and it prepares you for work in the E and S quadrants. So for instance, here you have doctors like me, you have lawyers, the people who feel they are smart, they go into those professions. Then we have others, electricians, plumbers, builders, they all have professional education. Then the next one is financial education. And this is where you learn to have money working for you. You would think that in business school, you would get that financial education. But what is described, I've not been to business school, I'm in the real life business school. I've not been to business school. But what happens is they get very smart people, smart kids, and they teach them how to work for the rich, really, still in the E and S quadrants. In network marketing, but the real life street business skills that you need, the education, you will learn. You will learn things like abilities to set your own goals. When mostly, and I'm not saying all the time, mostly when you're working for somebody, they set goals for you, and you better follow them. But it's more difficult, I believe, when you're running your own business. You have to set your goals for yourself. If you don't wake up and smell the coffee, you will see. I know that in the last few months, in this business, I had to look at it and set some goals for myself. Nobody was chasing me. I was not chasing anybody. But for me, for my own business, I had to set some goals. And I had to decide if it is to be, it is up to me. There's so many things I could have blamed on me not achieving a particular goal I wanted to achieve. I can think of so many reasons. But if I give the reasons, where does that take me? Does that take me to the place of my goal? No. So in network marketing, you learn to set your own goals and push yourself to meet them. You learn time management. There's some things when you're at work, they are teaching you, but when you are on the field, you will learn them from trainings like this. But when you are really faced with certain things, you will know that you have to manage your time, Then you learn an attitude of success, if you like and you are negative all the time, it will show. So you learn those things. You learn good management skills and so many other things. Now, a good network marketing company will provide a solid program of training in all these areas. And I want to say that we are very fortunate in this company. We're very fortunate in this company because the company gives us the opportunity for a lot of personal development, personal training. You know, I know that, funny, I joined this company about 10 years ago, but I didn't really do anything. And then I went on to do something else before I came back. But one thing that I always saw was that personal development. I remember I never really, I don't know. I think my account must have gone dormant because I didn't really do anything. But I kept receiving emails. Even the emails alone were personal development. I wasn't doing the business. I wasn't keen to do it, but I was getting the emails and I was learning from them. And I want to encourage us as we're in here that we should take these personal development opportunities very seriously. I know that I've somehow been in a lot of the trainings going on, whether it's my team or not my team. Why? Because I want to learn. I just want to keep learning, you know. And also I make the time. Sometimes I don't have the time, but when I don't, I try to look for the recorded version. But I noticed that, I mean, great. I can see we're about 45, 46 people in this. That's good because some days we have just 20, 15. And I just feel that, man, where is everybody? I know some people are at work, which is fine. But I would love to believe that those who are at work at those times are getting the opportunity, the recorded versions and all that. You know, network marketing is a real world business school for people who want to learn the real world skills of an entrepreneur rather than the skills of an employee, because I tell you, they are different. They are different. When you're an employee, and I'm not putting down an employee because I was an employee for several decades, but when you're an employee, your work is pretty much cut out for you, you know, but this one, you have to. If you don't create some things, you will just find yourself coasting. Another, the second asset, and that's where we're going to end, is that network marketing the second asset is a profitable path to personal development. You know, one of the things network marketing does is it brings out the winner in you. You know, we all have the winner and the loser in us. And when you see different people, some are just getting by. And there's nothing wrong with getting by. But the difference between someone that's getting by and somebody that is actively growing and achieving is the one that's just getting by allows the loser to dominate. You know, so you learn a lot of there's a lot of personal development. I mean, I have learned so much. I tell you, I've learned so much from being in this business. I know that I've been in network marketing for 10 years. I learned a number of things, even in a previous company I was part of. But I think being part of this company has been a whole lot of learning. And I'll share some of the things I've learned personally to, So for instance, we're doing the business and it's like, I mean, I'm not now, this is before Green Monday now, but in this company, we want to get to this level, that level, and we're costing along. One of the things I learned, and one of the people I learned from was Ben, my upline, she would like, okay, this person is going to become level 3. Then it was level 3 today or tomorrow or whatever. And, you know, just the way that everything that could be an excuse or could be a hindrance will be removed, and that person, that level will be achieved that day. That's something I learned, because I'll be thinking, okay, yeah, maybe the person will be on level 3, or I'll be on level 3 in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Meanwhile, she has decided it's today. And what is it going to take? Oh yeah, oh yeah. And so I've learned that to be able to focus and achieve at a time I decide I want to achieve. You know, network marketing also helps you to face your fears and overcome them. I know that for me as a person, I mean, this, somebody is, please, can Yetunde Ige mute yourself, please? Thank you. For me, I know that when I was in employment, for some reason, I wanted to do well. I was doing well, but I didn't really like to be the leader. I like to be second. I like to be second in the whatever, maybe the assistant, you know. And I never thought, obviously it was something I needed to develop myself out of. And I believe that with network marketing, that has, you know, I've overcome that of wanting to, yeah, okay, I prefer to just be the second person supporting the leader. But no, when in network marketing, I developed the desire that, yes, I do want to, you know, do what I need to do, whatever it's going to take. And also, succeeding in network marketing is not just about changing where you work, but changing you. And it's one of the assets that you get for the business. So we have spent about 45 minutes, and this is where we are going to end for today. I hope with these few words of mine, we have been able to learn some things, be reminded of some things, be inspired to change some things. And I'll be happy to take any questions or any comments or contributions, you know, to this conversation. Thank you all very much. So, any questions or comments? Yes, I need to read more. Yeah, we all need to read more. Thank you, Sister Yemisi. Thank you, Lola. Tina, thank you. Sister Moruf, great to have you. Eugenia, I've been inspired to get back to read, yes, Robert Kiyosaki's books. I have insisted that I'm going to read. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Mind shift. Yeah, we all need that mind shift. Yeah. Thank you. Do we have any questions? I think I need to learn how to put music here because it's too quiet. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, explain more on how you do it to meet the set target. Okay. Okay, well, who asked that question? Victoria, thank you for that question. Well, you see, the first thing is that when you set a target, a target or a goal, let's call it a goal. A goal has to be smart. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be achievable. It has to be realistic. It has to be time bound. There's another one that they've added, but I can't remember, you know. So when you look at your goal, at the point you're setting, you're like, when do I want to achieve this? Yeah? When do I want to achieve this? I'm feeling great seeing some of my teammates here. Yeah, that's great. When do I want to achieve this? So what is it going to take? So maybe, I don't know what your goal would be. Maybe you want to achieve 1 star in the next 1 month. Let me just give you that. And where are you now? How many PV is 1 star? I'm just giving that as an example. 1000 PV. And right now you have 200 PV. So you need 800 PV. Yeah? So you look at it, who are your team members that you can encourage that need to do what they need to do? You see how many PV will come from there, because when you're setting that goal has to be win-win. In network marketing, you don't just go on a tangent and set your goal and then tell your downlines, oh, I want to achieve a goal, so do this. No, you need to look at them too and see what they stand to gain and help each of them. Then you go forward. You need to register more people, you know, and then it will get to a point that the way I see it is, if it is up, it is up to me. I get to the point where, yes, I've encouraged everybody, I've done what I do. If I have to do GMX RPL, I will do it and get those points. So that is it. It's just to decide if it may even be to help another team member to hit a level. You just do what you need to do, you know. So, and then you work with your upline as well. I hope, Victoria, that answers your question. Okay, if you come in with VIP, what PV are you getting? Yeah, somebody has already answered it. The person who comes in as a VIP will have 960 points, and the uplines will have half of those points. 50% will have 480 points. So somebody coming in with as VIP is quarter to 1-star manager already. Yeah. So do we have any more questions? Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, so Eugenia, if it is to be, it's up to me. Yeah, I believe that so much. Now, it won't be, you see, we're in a team business. So before you go off on a tangent and say if it's to, you would have explored all the possibilities, encourage who you need to encourage, support who you need to support and all that. But when the push comes to shove, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that's it. Okay, so thank you all very much. At 6 p.m., we're going to have if you want to go up, go down. Yeah, he or she stoops to conquer. You stoop to conquer. Yeah, that's true, Mr. Esedo. Please advise, I'm having a little issue with making people join. Now, first thing is that you don't make people join. No. You can't make them join. There are systems. I don't know, Victoria, I don't know whether you have been in any of the trainings in the last few weeks. We have been having amazing training. I know Team Yoma has taught us a lot, you know, about prospecting, inviting. There is a system to it, you know. There's a system to it. I would say maybe if you can get those videos, go back and watch them. And you see what you learn today and you start putting into practice seriously, it might not show until next month. So what I would say is go back and listen to the videos of last week, and then it may elicit some questions which you can ask your upline, and you see there's a system to it. You know, there's a system to help getting people to join. But one thing I would like to say is we don't make people join. We don't persuade people to join. We don't convince, but I don't anyway, not anymore. I remember we used to learn that amateurs convince, professionals sort. Now I know the kind of people I want in my business, you know. I know the kind of people I would want directly under me in my business or anywhere in my business. You know, I don't discriminate against anyone, but we don't make people join. We encourage. You see, I think that yeah, you've been introduced. Just promises and promises, but the products are working for them. Yeah, then you just keep going. You keep prospecting. See, I tell you, in the last there's a leg of my business that in the last 1 month. When I say the last 1 month, when I say from end of July to end of August, I had 5 personal sign-ups. Now, they were not people that I talked to 2 days before. From June or May, some before then, I've been talking to them. I've been helping them to understand. You see, it's about educating people. When they are educated, when they understand, they will join if it's time for them to join. There's some people, it is not their time. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying that in a religious manner. Some people have reasons why this is not the right time for them. And we need to understand that. Some people even join, but this is not the right time for them to do the business the way you think you would want them to do. And you see, that mix of persons is all over our teams. And the way in which you would not get frustrated is by sowing generously, so that at every time you have some people who are not ready to join. You have some people who are almost ready to join. You have some people who are ready to join. You have some people who have joined and are not ready to do much. And then you have some people who are ready, who are following you bumper to bumper. You look back, you see them, and you're like, yeah, come on, let's go. You know, so it's when you are generous with your prospecting, inviting, doing sizzles, getting your upline to close. You know, if somebody says, oh, I'm not getting people to join, my question will be, first of all, how many guests have been in trainings in the last 2 weeks? How many guests do you have? How many people have your upline helped you close sizzles? How many people do you talk to on a daily basis? You know, so it's really going back to the basics of all those systems. I think being in your message. Okay. Thank you. So I hope that has been helpful. So I want to thank us all very much. So 6 o'clock, please, let's go. We still have time to invite. You see, inviting doesn't take time. Honestly, I know I hear some people say I don't have time. Inviting may just be maybe somebody you've talked to before, you just saying, could you join? I'll give you a tip. When I'm presenting, unfortunately, this is not a guest. I tell people, you see, there's a scripture, I think, that says, whether Christ is preached out of envy or whether Christ is preached out of rivalry, so far Christ is preached. Me, I want to get guests into the presentation, no matter how. Please, I'm presenting. I need moral support. Many people will come. My upline is presenting and I want to support her. They will come, whether they come because they want to come or they come because they feel, let me support her. The important thing is they will hear the business presentation, and to some of them, it will make sense. So thank you all very much. I think we can close, we can wrap it up right now. It's almost 1 o'clock. So thank you all very much. And let's see at